Hagar at the Fountain, delivered on November 8, 1885. Based on Genesis chapter 16 verses 13 and 14, And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou God sayest me, for she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Beer Lahai Roi. You know the story of Hagar. I am not going to deal with the allegorical meaning of it, that would be apart from our subject. This morning, I shall speak of the incident simply as it stands. And even then I shall not use it strictly as a case of sure conversion. For I am not certain that it was such. I suppose Hagar to have been an Egyptian woman. Probably one of the maidservants who were given by the king of Egypt to Abram at that unhappy time when Abram's faith failed him, and he went down into Egypt, and requested Sarai to conceal the fact that she was his wife. Sin, whenever it is committed by the child of God, is sure to involve him in sorrow. In the long run, the result of any false dealing comes home to the believer. And it does so in very unexpected ways. Hagar became the special maid of Sarai. God had promised to Abram that he should have a son, and that thus he should be the father of nations. That blessing did not appear likely to come to him, for there were no children born to Sarai, nor did there seem to be the possibility of any. Husband and wife were both old and well stricken in years. No special mention had been made of Sarai in the promise as it then stood, and therefore it was not clear to Abram but what some other might be the mother of the expected seed. And when, in her unbelief, Sarai proposed that her maid should become his secondary wife, Abram hearkened to her. According to the custom of the times and of Oriental nations, this act was right enough. But as it was not really right in itself, and showed littleness of faith on Abram's part, sorrow soon came of it. Hagar began to behave herself proudly towards her mistress, and her mistress, finding herself despised, complained to Abram, and began also to behave harshly towards her. The wrong climate would not work in Abram's family. It might do very well for the Canaanites around him, but in a house where God was feared, it was an evil principle, and could not work for peace or holiness. Hagar's high Egyptian spirit, finding herself likely to be famous in the house, would not brook the rule of her mistress, nor could Sarai, the quiet but queenly matron, put up with the insults of her slave. The mistress became hard and harsh to her handmaid. Wrought into a frenzy, Hagar flies from the tent, and makes the best of her way on the road to Egypt, whence she originally came. But what could a lone woman do in her condition, all alone in the wilderness? Wearied with her journey, she spies a fountain, and she sits there. It was the likeliest place for any passing traveler to find her, and she sits her down there in her proud despair. Perhaps they will send for her. Abram may repent his yielding to Sarai, and send for her. She will wait there, and if nothing comes to her help, she will die rather than return. She does not appear at that time to have lifted up her heart in prayer to God. She had lived in a godly household, but possibly, as she thought herself ill-treated, she had conceived a dislike towards the God of her mistress. Such harsh treatment as she had received was not likely to incline her towards the religion of those from whom she had fled. She was godless and hopeless. Do you not see her crouching at the fountain, half mad with pride and vexation, and at the same time stricken with a sullen despair? She knows not what she is to do, neither does any way of hope open before her. Alas, poor Hagar! But although there was no prayer of hers for God to hear, another voice spake in his ear. The angel who suddenly appeared to her said, The Lord hath heard thy affliction. That is a very beautiful sentence. Thou hast not prayed, thou hast been willful, reckless, and at last despairing, and therefore thou hast not cried unto the Lord, but thy deep sorrow has cried to him. Thou art oppressed, and the Lord has undertaken for thee.